Why is it that some people seem to never have to worry about their weight, while others are always on diets that maybe work at first and then they stop, and so their whole life they're on a diet and can't figure that out? Hi, I'm Nick Shell. I'm with Family Friendly Daddy Blog, and speaking from personal experience, I want to share with you the information that has helped me in hindsight. Now, I want to be upfront about something. I am a vegan and I've been a vegan for years, but this video is not about being a vegan. This is information that has nothing to do with explicitly being a vegan. Yes, it's true, a lot of what I learned after becoming a vegan, but I don't want you to think that the point of this video is you should be a vegan. That's not at all what this is. So, are we cool? Do you understand that? Okay. So, what I've done is I've got a top 10 list of reasons why my diet is successful after all these years. If you go back on my blog, you'll see where I used to weigh a bit more, and I had a lot of health issues that I haven't had for 4 or 5 years now that I've committed to this 10-step plan. So let's get started. As far as why is my diet working consistently? Why? Number one, I never choose to go hungry. Okay? When I see people, they'll say, oh, I skip lunch because I'm on a diet, or I'm eating just an iceberg lettuce salad because I'm on a diet. What they're doing is they're basically starving themselves to try to think that if they skip a meal, it'll be okay, and then they just make up the calories later and with empty calories. It's crucial to not go hungry. It's crucial to be, when you're hungry, to be eating, but of course making the right decisions in that. So that's the first thing. If you're on a diet where you're having to skip meals or go hungry and you're not really full, if you're asking me, you're doing it wrong, because I, Nick Shell, never choose to go hungry. That's fundamentally important to my lifestyle. Number two, I know the difference between being healthy and being overweight. Now, this is a very sensitive issue that we can't openly talk about on Twitter, but there is this double standard in America in which you look on magazines and you see what beauty's supposed to look like, which there's that one standard. And then there's this other standard saying all that matters is what's on the inside. So you're already in a tug of war. Well, should I look like the magazine, or should I just care about what is on the inside? But then even beyond that, there's the fact that with or without you feeling beautiful or being beautiful or whatever, there's still your physical heart. There's your body. And so you can actually feel great on the inside. You feel great about yourself as far as you that I am beautiful, I am a good looking person, or I'm beautiful, whatever. But ultimately you can still be unhealthy inside. And I know how to separate those two. What I'm not focused on is the outside. I'm focused on the inside physically, because for me, being physically healthy makes me feel good in my heart. It makes me feel beautiful. That's not really good. That's kind of a weird word for me to say, but you know what I'm getting at. It's the physical inside that I'm focused on being beautiful, because if I'm not healthy, I'm not going to feel good about myself. That's the way I'm wired. Number three, I know the sources of protein that contain 0% cholesterol. Now that's important because a lot of people, when they think of protein, they think of meat, which I'm not condemning eating meat, but what I am saying is there's other sources of protein that people tend to forget about. Vegetables, fruits, beans, grains, nuts, and seeds. That's 6 sources of protein to consider keeping in your diet and what you eat on a daily basis, and knowing there's a lot of protein that comes from that, and that needs to be incorporated in meals, not just basing it on meat alone, but knowing that protein is found in sources other than meat. And if they're found from a plant, check this out, if the protein is from a plant, 0% cholesterol. It may have a lot of fat in it, but it's got 0% cholesterol. Imagine that. Now, that is a perfect segue to our next, number 4, and that is, I know the difference between good fats and bad fats. And you've probably heard that before, and what does that even mean? Well, think of it this way. A good fat is fat that comes from a plant. Again, it has 0% cholesterol. You need fat. Your body thrives on fat. If you don't eat something with fat in it, your diet's going to fall apart. Just like if you skip a meal, you have to have fat in your diet for things to keep working like you want to and feel good about yourself. But just keep in mind, avocado, full of fat. Cashews, full of fat. Those things have a lot of fat in them, but zero cholesterol. Compare that to fat that comes from an animal that is going to have fat in it, and it's also going to have cholesterol. Like a chicken egg is going to have somewhere around 60% of your daily cholesterol right there. So I'm not saying don't eat meat or don't eat eggs. What I am saying is be mindful of the fact that you can get healthy fats, good fats, from plants to get your fats. You don't have to rely on meat or eggs or dairy. You don't have to. There's another source. So it's good to keep that in mind, because that's cholesterol, that's your heart. That's important. That's something that I know and I live by. Number 5 is, on kind of a similar note, I choose good sugars as compared to bad sugars. What is good sugar? Well, fruit. Fruit is full of sugar. A banana is about 3 tablespoons of sugar. That's a lot of sugar, actually. And that's just a banana. Fruits are full of sugar, yet they're also packed with fiber and vitamins and nutrients for you. Okay? So you could say, oh, well, I can't eat a banana. It's got too much sugar in it. Yeah, but it's good sugar because it comes with all that stuff. Now, it'd be one thing if you're just drinking a gallon of orange juice. Well, that's a bunch of sugar, but you've stripped out all the nutrients from the actual fruit. But if you're eating the whole fruit, you're consuming sugar, but you're consuming all the good stuff with it, and it's non-processed. What's bad sugar? Processed sugar. Sugar that is added to food that is completely different than when you're eating sugar in its natural state in a fruit. And I know the difference on that, and my meals are based around that. Okay, we're halfway through, by the way. Number 5 is I find a way to exercise daily. Okay? Now, if you want to go to the gym, do it. For me, that's too much. I don't have a gym membership. I'm a runner. I'm actually a skateboarder. I'm a mountain biker, and I'm walking all day long. I'm always on the move, always exercising. Because, and I've heard this before, and this is what I agree with, that as far as you remaining healthy, it's a matter of 80% diet and 20% physical activity. So I make sure that every day I'm physically active in those things I name. Whatever works for you. Maybe the gym is the best option for you. I'm an outdoors kind of guy, so I do all my stuff outside. But that's just me. But every day I'm moving constantly throughout the day, and I'm finding ways to fit it into my schedule. Number 7 is I focus on a healthy lifestyle, not on losing weight. Now, I lost a bit of weight when I switched years ago to this lifestyle, but I wasn't weighing myself. And it wasn't until my wife noticed. She said, "You're really getting slim. Did you know that?" And I didn't believe her, but I also wasn't looking at a scale until I realized my size 34 pants eventually became size 31, which is what I've been consistently wearing. And so by focusing on being healthy and not focusing on how much I weigh and not focus on being overweight, by just focusing on the right things, everything else lined up. And yeah, I lost weight, but that was just a side effect of what I was already doing right. Okay. Number 8, I am very black and white about the gray areas. For example, as far as me eating processed sugar, no, there is vegan cake that exists that you can get from Whole Foods or my wife can make. And occasionally we will have that on a special occasion, but we don't every day eat it. And I could eat potato chips every day if I wanted to, but I don't keep them in the pantry. I don't keep foods in the house that are those empty calories. I simply don't keep them in the house. There are special occasions. I know exactly what occasions those were. And by the way, a special occasion isn't coming home and after having a hectic day. No, because that's emotional eating. I'm very black and white about what I can and cannot do. And that special occasion is already predetermined. It's not when I see it, that's when I have it. Number 9, I have realistic standards and reasonable expectations. I don't have a 6-pack. I don't, and I don't need one, and that's important. That's not important. It's not important. Why set our standards so high at Hollywood standards when the main thing is you being healthy here? I could take my shirt off right now and prove to you that I don't have a 6-pack, but if I did or I didn't, it wouldn't matter. I'm healthy, and I don't have to look like Hollywood to be healthy, and that's very important that we know that. Lastly, my diet is permanent. I said diet at the beginning in quotations because it's more than a diet, it's a lifestyle. If you're on a diet to lose weight, I'm just being honest, you're going to fail, because the moment you're off the diet, the weight comes back. That's how diets work. So these 10 things, they reflect a lifestyle change and not a diet. I'm Nick Shell with Family Friendly Daddy Blog. Thanks for watching all 10 minutes of this video.